I am tired today. Hello everyone, it's Jade from Boho Bookworm, and today I'm doing the Try a Chapter tag. There are two books that I want to read throughout August that I am so excited for, and I just don't know which one to choose first. So I thought the Try a Chapter tag would be the perfect way to choose. Those two books are Leave the World Behind by Rumaan and That Night by Gillian McAllister. One of my booktube friends, Kelly Cockcroft, said that she'd just started That Night, and she was like, Jade, go out to Sainsbury's right now and get yourself a copy because she's really enjoying it and she thinks that I'm gonna love it too. So I'm super excited for this. Everyone knows that Gillian McAllister and I have, well, I like to say a friendship because I connect with her writing so much and her process. I love following her journey of how she writes, and her Instagram account is really inspiring as an author myself to kind of follow along how her books come into fruition. And also she's got like the ginger cat and the golden retriever, and she's a full-time thriller writer, and I'm just like, oh my god. So I gush about this author quite a lot. I am very much excited to read chapter 1. This one was recommended to me by the shop assistant in Waterstones, and it was also, I think it was rated like the thriller of the month or something, and it does sound really good, though it has this dystopian vibe to it, I've heard, which is not normally my thing. However, I've heard really good things. So let's dive on in, shall we? Chapter 1 of each book. I'm going to read the first chapter of Leave the World Behind first, and this is a book about a family on holiday, and they're in like this isolated house, and then there's this like countrywide blackout or power outage or something, and two older people who claim to own the house show up and say that they've got nowhere else to go, so can they please come in? And the family are like, what do we do? Do we let these people in? Do we believe them? Is it safe? And I mean, that in itself sounds quite scary, because I mean, there's no access to phones, there's no internet, no anything to be able to contact the police or to figure out if these people are who they actually say they are. And to me, that, I don't know, what would you do in that situation? I don't know if I'd let them in. I'd just be too scared. So I'm interested to see where this book goes. Just finished chapter 1 and I realised that I don't have any dinner, so I got really hungry, went on Deliveroo, and I have ordered like a jumbo sausage from a fish and chip shop with some chips and some mushy peas. So that's my naughty dinner, but I am going away tomorrow, so it's fine. I'm trying to keep my house clear of food to avoid wastage. Anyway, so first chapter. This book is very descriptive, and the first chapter is very much kind of like setting the tone, so you can tell it's going to be quite a dark and ominous book. The family, the main family that's going to go stay in their holiday house, they are in their car and driving to their destination, and it's basically just introducing the family. There's two kids, a son called Archie, a little girl called Rose, and then there's the husband and wife. So it's kind of just giving a little bit of information on them. It's very descriptive, very well written, but wasn't like anything that I was like, oh my god, like I need to read the next chapter. And normally that's what I really need in a book. So interesting, but let's see how I get on with That Night by Gillian McAllister while we wait for our food. was complicated, but my food is finally here. No one can ever find my address. And that delivery driver was terrible. That being said, I just finished that night chapter 1, and that's how you start a book. That was just thrilling, intriguing, and it was only like 2-3 pages long. I was sucked right on in. It opens with this girl like literally crying down the phone to her sister going, please help me now, come now. And the sister arrives on this road in what I'm gathering is like the middle of the night, and she sees her sister crouching over a body covered in blood. So that sounds freaking epic, and the writing was also fantastic. So I think my mind is made up about which of those books I'm going to read first. So that's my next physical paperback book that I will be reading after I finish the flat share. I am finally close to the end of it, and I am getting more into it now again. Like in the beginning I was absolutely loving it, and then I kind of like slowed down with it. It just became a little bit like because I guess like contemporary and romance isn't my normal thing. But then I realised that the book does actually have an element that I'm really enjoying. So her, the main character in this book, Tiffy, her ex-boyfriend is quite stalkerish and quite dangerous, and that element is now coming out into the book. So it's a little bit more like suspenseful now, knowing or not knowing what's going to happen, like because he's obviously, something's not quite right. He's a bit of a psycho, and Tiffy's now started like seeing her flatmate and starting this blossoming romance. And another thing that I really like with it actually is that it takes you through the emotions of going through a breakup and what that does to you. So her ex-boyfriend has this really big hole over her, and it's actually caused a lot of anxiety and like triggers when she's trying to move forwards. And I'm really relating to that, because for a very long time I was just pushing people away and very scared. And yeah, you know, I didn't think I could move on past my ex Miles, and it really did affect me for a long time. And everyone else that I tried to date, I was just like, no. And yeah, it was definitely, I did have a lot of triggers. So in that respect, I'm relating to the psychological element behind the book as well. Anyway, enough rambling. I have already said what book I will be reading next, so that's very exciting. I hope you will have a lovely day. Let me know what book you are going to be reading next, and I will talk to you all very soon in the comments.